So exciting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Red Valkyrie Presents. I'm, of course, Shae the Red, with my amazing co-host, CY.borg Valkyrie, who has been playing with graphics this entire time, and I've been watching them while we were backstage.
I'm updating my OBS.
With the dropout, I must say.
Well, I was listening to the music, and I'm like, how many more beats do I have to go before?
There's at least 3 more. I gotta drop it now.
Oh. There. Now there's 2 of us.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do this.
It's too much.
It's creepy. Bizarro land. Just like... We
We're
are here.
twinsies.
I don't like being a twin. Be your own thing.
Thanks.
Be original. It's usually me that ends up with size Abby, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we're here with the awesome Cody. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat, and thank you for having me so very much.
Yes, of course we had to because, Jack Irons.
Mm-hmm.
And you're over here, Mr. Stealth launching, so we got to do what we can to try and help.
I was putting this out for 6 months on pre-launch. I was relentless. And it's very crazy
was 6
that
months of pre-launch. I didn't know it was
true.
live.
Well, I don't know. I've been getting that too. So to be fair, I've been getting this and I've been pushing it hard. And I'm getting a lot of people, even previous backers, who are like, dude, I didn't even know you launched. I've been pushing it as hard, if not harder than my previous. So I don't know, I'm guessing part of it, the algorithms have changed a little bit and I'm still doing what I used to, right? And so it ain't jiving. But I also just don't know if there's just so much right now that goes under the radar, right? So much quality out there.
And I mean, it very well could be. There's been a lot of campaigns that have launched. It has made competition very, very stiff. Yes. But there's also the fact that I've noticed I'm seeing a lot less tweets overall. I'm seeing tweets from the same 10 accounts, and I think something definitely has switched with the algorithm. Things are a lot more difficult to get out. So I think what it's turning into is people are really going to have to kind of go back to basics from the very beginning. You're going to have to start going through and visiting everybody's chats and getting on all the streams and seeking out stuff.
Yes, and I've done 20. I think this might be stream number 30 during this campaign. So I've been hitting the grounds, and I've been so blessed by everybody. I mean, Pops right there. Thank you so much for having me as well, Pops. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks I've seen in other chats. Thank you so much, Pale Rider. I remember. Great to see you, folks. Thank you so much.
You know what I would do for a returning creator like yourself, since you've had, several other campaigns, I would compile an email list of all your previous backers, plus all the signups from this campaign. Of course, filter out for duplicates, and then I'm not going to say spam them, no, but at times like now when you're when you need that money to really start coming, you've got less than 3 weeks left, then you hit them and be like, hey, just a reminder, I know money's tight right now and times are hard, but get this before it's gone.
And that's what I've been polite about it. I've sent about 5 to email lists like that. But we're I'll be polite, but a little bit more noticeable. That's way to put it.
Well, if you've already sent several, I might wait till maybe the last 10 days. That way you can put that kind of time's running out spin on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking at the 2-week mark I'll do one, and then at 10 days, and then from there we'll see how desperate I need to get.
Fuck
Yeah.
it, just send one daily.
Yeah, right.
Don't
Well,
do
and
that.
yeah, no,
I don't
and
know.
the
I've
thing
done
is,
that before.
It's really hard. I think that what it's kind of coming down to for a lot of people isn't so much quantity, because this is something that we've heard from so many creators, as they're like, I'm tweeting out, 6 times a day about my campaign. And I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Like, that's actually really bad. Don't do that. I understand the thought behind it is you're like, I've got to hit as many different groups as possible, but also if you keep hitting the same groups, right? Like if you're tweeting every day at 9 a.m., you're hitting the same people that are home every day at 9 a.m. Yes. They're getting sick of seeing you, and they're also you're not giving them anything new. You're like, hey, go back my book, and everyone's like, dude, no. Like, I don't stop. Why do you keep on telling me about your damn book? But finding the creative ways to push or market your book, like when people do fan art contests, that's all free publicity because people are drawing your characters and talking about the fan art contest. And yeah, it's going to require a little bit of investment from you because you got to figure out what's going to be Gucci enough to offer for a prize.
Yes.
But at the same time, that's a really good marketing campaign. There's also, Shae, finding interesting ways to look at your book that isn't the standard, this is what the story is and this is how it goes. Because so many people are like, I have to show a full page. No, you don't. Leave something to the imagination, man. Don't show me an entire page, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to take the time to click and expand and try and get the feel of one page of a comic. But if you give me one panel of a comic and it's a damn good panel, that can sell your book a hell of a lot better than showing me the full pages over and over in tweets. So
indeed,
there's so much it's so tricky right now.
It's so tricky. And there's so many things. One thing I leaned heavy into is trailers this go. I learned video editing and been pushing that, and that gets response, and it's a different interaction. At least sometimes I hope it can be entertaining for that 15 seconds or whatever I'm trying to get it a little bit different, a little bit more engaging. But at the same time, right, we've been doing animations for the last 6 months as well, where we'll animate a panel in kind of a loose, almost the Max kind of style where something's moving, that kind of thing. And that does get attention. That does help. And then for the trailers, I can utilize those again. But it is really hard to not only stand above the crowd, but then get the actual investment to come in from that. And so, it's always a learning experience, and it's always one I'm actually really quite grateful for.
Well, I'm super stoked. The chat is losing their mind now. Crumpled Sweaty Singles. Pale Rider is offering to send you nipple tassels.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's all kinds of Indiegogo except stripper money.
I do accept stripper money as well.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Well, it's not stripper money, but do you want to do the cosplay reveal, CY?
Hold on, we need the drum roll.
I'm waiting on you.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, there we go.
Get some Jack Irons. Try and get a little different look.
All right. Great
Plus,
job.
It gave me an excuse to get out the scale mail, because
Indeed.
It's a little trickier to wear than you would think. Like, you can't just
I don't know.
Half a house payment is what she's wearing right now.
Oh.
Beautiful. We love them. I'm just gonna sit here.
Actually, no. You can't do that. You'll get us kicked off Twitch.
You know what? I don't care.
Oh no.
All right. So now that we've had the cosplay reveal, I do believe that we have an entire campaign to talk about.
One entire campaign. It's crazy.
One whole campaign.
$4.
Yeah, $4 also. That's true. Also, the digital's $4. So then there you go.
So there's just, 4 books, $4. Like, really, we're just adding
Issue 4, 4 Horsemen.
whatever you
Get
got
on
to
that
go
4.
with it. If you like the number 4, this is for you.
I got you. Exactly. It's for you. Perfect.
I did, because I can't look. I tried to wear this when I went grocery shopping, and people were taking it back. So
They were just jealous.
there's some
So
prudes
jealous.
in my area. You can't just go
And-
walking around in the scale mill and pick out, I was gonna say an eggplant.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm good. I'm behaving now. It's fine. All right, Cody.
Yes.
Let us know, what can we get in this campaign? What is Jack Irons?
So the elevator pitch, and I'm just going to throw a bunch of kind of esoteric concepts at you. Everybody's kind of got their own ideas, but it's a tale of a reincarnated immortal seeking freedom and purpose in galactic Armageddon. So I specifically use those larger terms to hopefully engage folks in thought on what those are, what they mean to them, because that's kind of what the book is trying to do. It is an action adventure story, but it focuses a lot on thinking. It's a thought piece, and honestly, it's been what Jack has been to me has been a wonderful gift in education and indie comics. It's allowed me to platform a lot of extreme talents. It's allowed those talents to be able to do other very cool work, and it's allowed me to engage some very cool communities like the one right here.
Oh,
And issue number 4 is going to be our best work yet. One of the most magical things about indie comics, creator-owned indie comics, crowdfunded creator-owned indie comics, is that it's all on our back. So it gets to be this wonderful, very specialized vision that's manifested to you, and it gets to be done in the way that we need to do it. And so with Jack Irons in particular, we've always tried to meet or exceed the bar of quality presented not only in crowdfunding but in comics in general. We've always tried to punch far above our weight, and I think we've continuously succeeded in that. We always tried to deliver a great bang for the buck, and we've tried to deliver something that hopefully will mean something to people as it goes, not only the tales and what we're trying to do, but also our own journey and the journey we get to take alongside you folks.
hell yeah. So the thing that I think I probably love the most about Jack Irons is just how ridiculous in a good way.
Yes.
I think that's the only way I can explain it. It's like ridiculous, but in the best possible way that you get with this. You have some of the coolest characters that are just they're really interesting takes on the 4 Horsemen. Because
I think so as well.
It's not how I would have ever envisioned them, but then seeing them, I'm like, yep, that makes sense though. Like, that's pretty much how they should be. I think that's accurate.
Yeah, what we've done with our character designs and always tried to is these are caricatures of bigger ideas most of the time. And so those 4 horsemen in particular, it's when you come from that and you have a specific kind of vision, the character design kind of comes pretty easy. The descriptive nature is all feeling, and so you just kind of have an ability to communicate that feeling into visuals. And Maxi Dallo, extreme talent. He is incredible at doing that, and I've been blessed to work with him for the better part of a decade at this point, about 7-8 years. We're very passionate about this project. He works about 98% traditionally. This campaign was the first time we were able to offer traditional pages, and they sold very quickly, which was very heartening for me because it does him a lot of good, because it's not cheap working traditionally. No. It's also it's a dying art because of that, right? It's got a very unique feel in the line art because of that. And again, this is a work that you will not find anywhere else. It's something very unique that has been grown only because of community support and dedication and passion and quality. But we couldn't produce that quality without that support.
Absolutely. And like there's so much character like in the lines and in the way that Maxi does the layouts and everything. He puts a lot of character, a lot of feeling into everything that he ends up drawing. Like Jack here, I feel like you don't have to know the lead up to be able to craft a story about what just happened. You know, he's got all of that personality in there, which is something that is really difficult to do. So it's nice to see somebody do it well. I also love the way that a lot of the colors and stuff go, because everything feels kind of gritty. And I hate when I get a Western and everything is clean.
Yeah, it can take a lot away from it. And Maxie's lines does have that edgy bit, especially this issue, as you can see from the line art preview pages we're looking at. He's leaning heavier into inks because we are going from a more grounded human perspective in the post-apocalypse to a Four Horsemen territory, a manifestation of hell. So it's getting edgier, it's getting more down-bearing, and he knows how to communicate via line art all of those kind of emotions and feelings and support the work. And then we throw Stephen Cannon on top, who has a beautifully vibrant color palette to give it that dreamy, imaginative science fiction feeling without taking away the grittiness. He's really great at the texture work, but still being able to deliver vibrancy. You're not getting a sepia Western. No, you're getting a Technicolor, gorgeous Western.
You're getting like a cyberpunk Western, which is bizarre, but it works really well.
Yeah. One reviewer back in the day said that I used a shotgun when I should have used a sniper rifle when I was writing this, but I nonetheless hit my target. And that's a lot of what we're doing here, is that there's a lot of balls, a lot of targets we're trying to hit at the same time. And if we can manage, and so far I'd say we have managed to hit those themes, then they come together gorgeously and communicate precisely what we're trying to do. And it can be very hard to explain. So I like to remind people who haven't, who are interested, this seems interesting to you, to go to ironversecomics.com, and you can read issue number 1 for free. We've always had issue number 1 in some form available for folks to dive in, so you can know what we're doing personally for free, no investment, just your time, because not only do we very much value your time, this is a story about time and it being valued, but that it's something that, again, I have difficulty communicating. I've always had difficulty communicating it outside of the work. How we got any footing was that I was able to point folks to a black and white issue number 1, and they were able to see what we were doing as an actual manifestation. This isn't something that I'm wanting to do or that I have an idea of. This is something we've been doing for years at this point. This is something that before we even had any grounding, we were working on for years. For me, this is, year 17, trying to get Jack on out there. It's year 4 on actually, delivering books and interacting and getting it out into the world. But this is a very it's got a lot of passion and love and dedication behind this project, not only from the team, of course, but from our fan base and the folks who we've reached. And I know a lot of folks are having financial difficulties now. I'm certainly included. But if you can, again, I just want folks to read it and enjoy it and keep up with us, and we'll keep making it as long as folks are checking it out. And we can make it quicker as long as they're also funding us. But at the end of the day, this is something we're in for the long haul, and we will be delivering better and better work every go.
I love it. So I've hung on this for a while, because he looks like a captain of a boat that's going to break into a sea shanty with like a Cthulian beard going here.
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking like the railroad engineer from hell.
That's a good one too. So what we're doing in this issue is I combine two very in relatively important theological stories together from the East and the West, and I smash them together. One of them is Dante's Inferno, and we're going through layers of hell in this issue, in this case layers of corporate hell. And this is from the Eastern tale. This is what would be called the Old Man. And so this is an old manifestation of corporate labor. And this confrontation, I think, is going to be really entertaining. The other three meetings as well, I think we handled in a really fun way. I've learned quite a bit between each issue and what our readers kind of expect from this comic, at the same time combining that with what I need this comic to communicate. And this issue is doing it perfectly. I think this is the start of a new arc. So if you just want to jump on issue 4, you totally can. We are trying to do something new, and this is just the first of 4 encounters in this issue. It's a 48-page floppy issue as well. Issue 1 was 32 pages. Issue 2 and 3 were also 48. So if you get that 4-issue bundle, you're getting a good chunk of read. And awesome. We try to price it at a point that is reasonable for also being able to produce a new issue at our level and keep our artists, food on the table, that kind of deal. Is
this corporate hell because you're in Famine's area? Nice.
So we spent most of issues 1 through 3 in New Deadwood, which is the human reservation on Earth. It's kind of a human zoo from how the galaxy kind of looks down on it. But it is it's been bordered by Famine Inc. And in issue 3, the other immortal that we've met, Tracker, gets Jack out of his stupor and gets him to go into hell for what reason? I haven't revealed yet. It will be revealed. But so we're finally moving into the more esoteric concepts and more into the direct conflict with these horsemen that we set up in issue 2 and issue 3 and how the world fell and all of that. We're paying off issue 1 through 3's origin arc finally. And it's super exciting to do that because now I can really tell the tale instead of the setup, which you got with 1 through 3, which I think 3 had the best storytelling overall, but each issue did succeed in what I needed it to. And so I'm just excited to keep building on it.
Very cool. Yeah. So I really like the way that you've done, like I said, the 4 horsemen are handled very differently. And so I love the fact that you have Famine and he's like, oh, he's like a corporate head honcho. And he's like, oh, I control rations, who gets them and who doesn't. And some of these rations may or may not actually be rations. Who knows? And it's just like, as looking at it from a perspective of if you've been working for somebody else, which most of us have, you always kind of get that feeling at some point that you're kind of a number and you're very expendable, and it gets really, really frustrating to kind of put up with it over and over again. And the worst part is when you see people like Famine who are like, I'm one of you, I'm in your corner, I'm just trying to help you out, and you're like, you're the problem, aren't you? Like you are the center of issues, and I can't prove it, but I know you have to be. Like,
yes, and that's the kind of stuff exactly that we're dealing with here. I doubt you'll find a more honestly anti-authoritarian set of books out there. That is the main thing that we are trying to tackle, because it is a very omnipresent human experience that I think we need to be able to look at realistically, but also have these caricatures and have these journeys and have these ways of thinking about them out there. And so I think it's one of the reasons I find this work so important to myself. It was one of my explorations of that. But also I think a lot of people, especially these days, can at least resonate with certain concepts we've explored for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I really like Cy's question. It says, where's the book's level about corporate hell that equates to HR? To which Frog G says, I thought all layers of corporate hell are based out of HR.
This is true. So Jack does ask to see the manager in issue number 4. You will see that. He Karens, but in the best way, the way only of the Steel Cowboy.
I want to see your manager.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Like, I don't even know where to go from there. Just the thought of Jack, but giving him like a bob that's blonde for just one panel while he has to speak to the manager. I feel like you need to make that a pinup at a minimum.
That would be fun. I don't know if he could pull it off, but I mean, if anybody could.
I mean, how are you ever going to know if he doesn't try?
It's true. It's the manager named Karen. Back it now to find out. You got it, Frog G. You got it.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so you have some cool stuff on this campaign that is
We do.
new to this one. So first, you've got this badass mini. So how big is this?
That is about 4.5 inches. I hand paint them on stream, and then I number them with a relatively nice certificate of authenticity. I sign that and then mail it on out to you. I did that last campaign. We sold 3 of them. This is the last time I'm going to do that. It was quite demanding last campaign, but a lot of things were. Last campaign was just pure insanity with timing as well. It just kind of seems how it goes with our work, but in some ways I think that's part of its magic. It's somehow we're able to do it anyway. But so that's a big ticket one. I actually raised the price significantly this campaign, again, because it's the last one, and I raised it to a point where I'm like, yeah, if you'll pay me that, I will absolutely do it. So if you folks are going to do that, feel free to get in contact with me if you want me to paint it a certain way or whatever. Otherwise, I will be available when I'm doing these, so you can even watch it, whatever you want to do for that.
Cool.
And I enjoy mine quite a bit, and the 3 backers last go enjoyed theirs, so I've been very happy with that. They were quite pleased with it, and again, we're asking a premium, so I'm happy I deliver a quality that folks are excited about.
Nice.
Art is something I appreciate, but I've got different skills than usually what comics demands, so this is one of the ways I can integrate at least one of them.
I feel you. This is why I do this, because
Yes.
the sequential pages is not my strong suit.
Exactly. You
Like,
find your
I
way to
can-
express yourself.
I could do a cosplay. We can make that happen.
There you go.
All right, so now you also have, obviously, Jackie Irons, the pinup.
Yes, she's making a
Yay.
return. With Illustrator
Yeah.
Monk's work was so popular the last go, I had to do another one. I think we'll probably do one each campaign as long as he has the time. I think his work's always so beautiful. It's very expressive, and it's our little way to do that little bit of fan service, because it's not integral to our work. It's not like we're not doing a bad girl comic, but it is something that people enjoy, and we've got a wonderful talent that can do it. And if people want it, I am so happy and pleased to present that and give a wonderful talent work every time.
Yeah. Well, and Illustrator Monk, so he's one of the first people that we ever commissioned to do us, and he did a phenomenal job. Gave both of us those big doe eyes that he's known for.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's so good. So I'm really excited to see that you've got a print from him, because he's one of my favorites for sure. Oh, and then you got this gorgeous piece.
Yes, from BoogieBot. He did the comic Robert. It was a sci-fi western as well.
Yes.
I really loved how he does his ink work, and then when I saw him start putting colors into it, I just loved his style. It's very unique. I don't see anybody else doing it quite like him. If you zoom in, how he does very geometric faces, but when you're pulled back, it doesn't feel that way. It's a very unique line art. I really appreciate how he does it, and I had to work with him. He delivered it quick, gorgeous, at a great price. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was so pleased with this piece, and hopefully we'll be working again together. But I'm waiting for Robert. I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get Robert either. I think it's gonna be great. And this is, I really like how he did this, where he managed to do like a watercolor sunset background
Yes.
without it looking cheesy, hokey, and unrealistic. Because if you actually look at it, the sky is just blue. If you really look at it,
Yes.
the sky is just blue. But because you have the light coming off of his shoulder, some of the shadows in some of the clouds and stuff, that gives you those pinks, and then you've got the sun, and then the light that's shining off of the bike gives you some of the yellows, and so you end up getting that watercolor background. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Just so good, so very well colored. I was very impressed, and so much so we wanted to offer a standee this go, which I should have the prototype in before the end of the campaign, so I'll of course be showing that off, and we have the mock-up down there, but it is of the BoogieBot pinup, where we cut it out, and it's going to be a 6-inch wooden standee we're trying this go, and I'm excited to get those on out. Yeah, something just a little bit different.
Very cool. And then you got this pinup.
Yes, by Hannah Davis. She's a great cartoonist, and I wanted to see what she could do with Jack, and she took this esoteric bit with the old man kind of smoking and then seeing Jack. When folks read issue number 4, they'll get what this piece is meaning, but they probably won't get it right away before reading it. But I liked it. I liked the style she chose. She went for this kind of sepia tone, more emotional piece than the other 2 pieces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very it's very loose lines, and the second you said it was the old man smoking, my brain stopped trying to just make that background, and then I look at it and I'm like, I see all of it now. I see, like, because I was like, is that a cigar? That's so it's weird that it looks like a cigar coming out of a stone face, and then you're like, yeah, old man. And I was like, I'm an idiot. That is a face. That is a full face right there.
Yes,
but it's she kept it loose enough that it's you kind of, it's almost like it kind of reveals itself to you, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's what she was going for, and I was very pleased with it.
Oh yeah. All right, then we got a cool sticker.
Yeah, that's going to be the sticker this go. A good buddy he's a streamer and stuff. He ended up doing that as a fan art piece, and it already had the transparency. And I was like, you know what? I like the style. I like your take. Can I buy that as to use as a sticker this campaign? And he was great. He was great. So I liked it, and that was one of the first things we got ahead of on this campaign before launch.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then there's the kind of mock-up of the standee.
Standee, yeah, that is pretty badass for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it full size. I'm excited for that. And then that video is about the misprints that you can also get in this. So issue number 3's journey was all over the place in a lot of different ways. One of them was we ended up with 1,500 misprinted issues. At the end of the day, though, we didn't pay for them, and they should have went back to the printer to be destroyed, as was their policy, but the shipping company picked them up and then dropped them off in the same place. And so during that dialogue with a wonderful printing liaison, we ended up keeping them. So we've got 1,500 issues we didn't pay for that are absolutely completely readable. You can watch the video if you're curious, folks, about like what the issues are. What the fan base ended up calling it this go was pixel jiggliness. It's kind of a it was digitally printed, right? So some was not calibrated right, or the amount of ink in it wasn't right. So some of the blacks are a little looser than tight lines. Best way I can explain it. And so it affected most everything. It's the blacks, but 100% readable. It didn't affect the lettering. It didn't affect anything like that. But we've got these, so we're offering them in bundles of 5, or as you can get 1 through 3 with your issue 4 for $9. So it's just the cheapest way to get all the books if you just want to read them and still have them physically. And of course, it's the best profit margin because again, we didn't have to pay for them, and we'd love to move them because they're just kind of sitting there.
So you're like, I'm just sitting here with boxes upon boxes of misprinted comics.
Yes, and again, they're not bad. Like, I didn't notice right away. I had to actually go and compare them to previous printings, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what that is. And then I had a lengthy discussion with that printing.
Yeah.
But it went fine.
All right.
It was more experience that you folks have allowed me to
I'm
have,
going to need
so
you to actually use a nozzle on your printer, please.
Yeah, right.
But next time you do this, could you print what I sent you and not your interpretation of what I sent you? That would be cool.
I thought you selected the Pollock finish.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. So and misprints happen, and I like that you're finding a way to get it to make it a positive instead of it just being
100%.
Here's a whole bunch of books that are kindling. Now you're like, actually, you guys could totally use these and still read the book.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't ruin the reading capability. It didn't ruin, like, again, it was so minute. I had to look page to page to notice it, to another printing. And so, like, I could have sent these out to people, and I don't think a couple sticklers might have noticed, but I don't think like anybody who's just casually reading it will notice. But nonetheless, I never felt right doing that, so I made sure we got what we're supposed to, and that since we ended up with these, that we labeled them appropriately. As Frog G put it, readers' copies is probably a softer way of putting it, but they are misprint copies. Misprint / readers when I put it, because again, 100% readable. You get the story, you get the pacing, you get everything. It's just not the prime level quality that we wanted to deliver.
It's like potato cam copy.
Yes,
like it's still there. You can make everything out and all of that. It's just a little Vaseline on the lens. It's not quite as crisp as we would like. I like Frog G's suggestion though, is getting the good ones and keeping those nice and pristine, and then having your reader copies be the ones that you read, that you loan out to friends, because who knows if you'll ever get them back.
Yeah,
like that's a good use of that reader copy type, and it's really inexpensive. You were saying it was $9 for 1 through 3.
Yes, to add on to your issue 4 if you'd like.
That is incredibly inexpensive.
Or you can get 5 of each of 1 through 3 for $45.
See, and you can. That's another thing, is if you have friends, like we have, a lot of us are trying to branch out and bring more people into this kind of indie scene, and a lot of them aren't crazy into comics. They're not super nerds about it. This is a cheaper way if you wanted to make an investment to try and get some of your friends to understand your passion. This would be a cheaper way for you to be able to do that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to buy some comics. Usually they're a little bit nicer than this, but this is a misprint, and so it's just a little less crisp.
Yes,
but
and that's exactly what it is. Just a little.
See if you like it. If you like this kind of story, then hey, this campaign's live, and you could totally get yourself book 4. You could, if you want to get the super high res of 1 through 3, we could do that too. Like it gives you all of those options, but it's a way to kind of get some of your friends to get a little, foot in the door.
Gotcha, CY.borg. Put some in the library, stamp them as misprint donation. We were actually, so there's another creator over at Wicked Publishing who works a little bit in youth detention. That whole process, and he's getting his book Wrath through that process and getting it to folks for that. So he was talking about Jack for that. I don't know if Jack works for that. I've told him that multiple times, but he wants to try anyway. Because again, you don't really want to give an anti-authoritarian book to a bunch of kids, but nonetheless, there are places to get them, and that is a wonderful idea. I never thought about trying libraries, so thank you.
Well, and that's the thing is, you've got this campaign going with all the misprints. You can see how many you unload, but you have a ton of them, and trying to unload all of them is going to be difficult. So you have places that you can get them, like rehabilitation centers for people that are like wounded warriors or whatnot. You could always donate a bunch there. You could donate a bunch to libraries. You could donate to like some of those book exchange places, little pop-up book exchange places. There's a lot of good places that you can kind of donate that could also potentially help increase your viewership later on. I would just make sure that you have something, if you don't already have something printed in the back that has like how to find you, Jack Irons, in your next campaign, then find a place to put that. Like whether you get a sticker or something, slap it on the back so it's there, so when people get hooked, it's not, I'm hooked on this indie comic and I can't find it.
Yeah, no. So on the back of how we're currently doing our trade dresses, we do the classic like issue summary on the back alongside all of our social media contacts. So that is there. But yeah, there's probably a more clear way to also communicate that. But yeah, no. I would love to get those books in people's hands, and of course they're on this campaign to help that. But folks, if you want to snag the primo pristine ones, we did have leftovers from last campaign, so that's what you're snagging if you snag either the international 1 through 4 bundle or the regular 1 through 4 bundle. You're getting
Awesome.
the pristine leftovers from the previous campaign, which we don't reprint covers without tweaking them in some way. So these are just that 500 of each issue that were left previously is the first printing of issue 5. It's the first printing of each of those variant covers of issues 1 and 2. And the lovely Raven illustration is in and says, "Howdy, lovely people." She colored issue number 2's variant cover that you'll be getting in this campaign if you'd like that.
Little sis is our absolute
Yes.
fave. We love her to death. Hello, Raven. We're so happy to see you, honey. All right, so let's go through your tiers. Oh, look, we got Jason Krager. What's up, Krager? How are you? I need to hit you up soon, too, by the way. So if you don't hear from me soon, DM me, because you know me. I'm crazy all over the place. And see, Raven, love Jack Irons. Yes, I agree. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's go through the comic tiers.
All right. So issue number 4, of course, that's our basic. We've lowered the price by $5 in terms of what we ask for one of our 48 page books. You'll get that. You'll get what we tend to do, which is one of the random pinups, one of the 3 random pinups. If you don't get the one you want, there is an add-on to get all 3 if that's something you want to do to help support us and also make sure you get the one you want. And you get a sticker. And of course, you get the digital issue number 4. We are also including 2 exclusive Ironverse. One's an Ashcan, one's kind of an introductory comic, Cactus Coyote, which we've included the manga digitally in previous releases. This time we're actually including the 15-page Ashcan colored by Stephen Cannon, Jack Irons colorist, and done by Andrea Boscolo on line art. Wonderful introductory to the actual larger galaxy of Ironverse comics. And then a new IP that we've got under us called The Recluse, which takes place during Famine's kind of rise to power and one of the more human elements trying to oppose that during that time. And I'm super excited to get both of those out. So you're getting 3 digital works alongside issue number 4 physically.
Awesome. All right.
And of course, $4 digital, which will also include the Cactus Coyote Ashcan and the Recluse introductory comic.
Very cool.
If folks just want to jump on issue number 1, I lowered the price because these are remnants and they're already been printed and such. And you'll get that. And of course, an issue 1 digital. And we'll probably throw in the Cactus Coyote and Recluse digital as well. If you just want to jump in on number 1, you're not so sure, you don't want to spend all the money for issue number 4, or you don't want to buy all the issues, but you still want a physical, that's what this option's for.
And it's important to know, anyone who's paying attention, thinking of doing this doesn't include any extras according to the tier. So
yeah, so you can get the add-ons, but it just comes with the digital and then the digital extras and then the physical. It doesn't come with the pin-up or the sticker, but it does come with the digital extras that are much easier to provide.
Absolutely. Okay, and then you have the digital bundle,
which of course is all 4 issues, and then of course the bonus comics as well.
Very nice.
Then the 1 through 4 bundle, which is the digitals, of course, a pin-up, the sticker, and then the 4 physical issues.
So how are you doing the pinups? Because you've got a couple pinups that are here in this campaign.
So we're doing, so what we did last go as well, and the go before that is I hire some artists to make pinups, and then we distribute them randomly. This go you have the ability to buy, and last go I believe you had the ability to buy all on offer as an extra. So if you do want a specific pinup as well, that's the way to guarantee it. Otherwise, you're kind of playing luck of the draw, and then you can snag it later on when they go up for sale on the extras. But yeah, it just includes 1 11x17 pinup, and it will be random.
Okay. All right.
There's our reader bundle, so it's 5 of each of issue 1 through 3. If you folks want to share that and get them out to folks, you have readers who are readers and not so much collectors. Is a great way to get our story on out and help us on out.
Nice.
I got asked enough. So how Indiegogo used to work is that you could add shipping options as the campaign ran. I was not aware that you could not do that any longer. So I got enough requests for this to add this tier specifically for international folks. If you're willing to pay that crazy uncomfortable international shipping costs, that's where you can do it. And we certainly appreciate you folks. We've had international readers since we've been delivering them, and we're very, very happy and proud of that. But it is a gouge system. There's just no way around it.
Yeah. Right now it's really bad too. So. All right.
And there's issue number 4 and the 6-inch standee, a random pinup and sticker, the digital stuff. So it's an extra little chunk for that standee, but we're only printing them this once. If we do them again, it will be a different standee. So it's kind of a limited collector's thing if you're interested in that. And I will be showing those off as soon as it's in. Hopefully it is in this week. So stay tuned, and at the very least follow the campaign if you're curious, or if you're not already following our social media, just stay tuned to there. I'll be blasting it because I'm so excited to get it in.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And then, of course, the hand-painted figure.
Yes, so that's again a 4.5-inch resin figurine I paint on stream, and again it's about 7 hours per figure that I do to get that going, and it's a very it's something if you really want to support us directly, and if you want to have a very unique piece of what we're doing, that's personally from me as a thank you. That's the way to go, and I'm so surprised somebody did it, but I am so grateful somebody did.
That's awesome. And then your original art is just gonzo.
It's sold out within days of putting it up there, which is incredible because I was pushing it more on social media for a long time there. Because again, Maxi works about 95 to 98% traditionally, sometimes 100%, depends on what the page demands, right? And what kind of errors he hits. But in this go, he works in 2 different sizes. He works on the A3 and the A4 size, so we offered him at different prices. You'll be able to pick out your page. You just got to contact us. We will be, we will hopefully, I can't guarantee it. It really depends on Maxi, that we will be offering the cover towards the end of the campaign as the final original art page. So keep an eye out for that. If you missed these and you're still on an original piece, after the campaign, we will actually, we've got a plan to offer original pages otherwise as well. So keep an eye out if you want a piece of Maxi's work and a piece of Galactic Armageddon's history, right? Something very unique.
Interesting. Is there a reason that you're not offering more of them on the campaign now?
Yes. And that reason is, we came up with this idea after I budgeted. So I pay Maxi a certain amount, and then there's a commission attached to that, but that is not part of the campaign's goal. So I have to make up that difference. Gotcha. So if I offered all the pages, it would have been great. It might have funded the campaign, but it wouldn't have funded the campaign. It would have funded Maxi, and then I would have had a commission to go towards the campaign. So so that was the bit. If I had added them, the profits of that, this goal would have been about 1,500 or 15K instead. And so to do color was another thing, right? Like we could have offered the book black and white and done color as a stretch goal. It wouldn't have been the first time we've done that. But I wanted to keep the band together. I wanted to make sure that we're putting out the same consistency that we've been known for, right? So got the goal as low as I could, even with investing on new pages coming in. I should actually have more pages this week, which is incredible. And book is in production. I believe the entire book's been penciled, so we're waiting on him to sit down and have the time to ink them. And we put all the cards on the table, pulled out every stop that I could think of, and we're asking for what we need to work at this in my case, hobbyist, but in the creative team, very professional level. So, it is what it is. I wish we could go lower, but I can't. It's the work I do does not allow this kind of work to be paid for. It's most certainly something that I need to do crowdfunding for, and I need support to be able to manifest. And so far we've been able to multiple times and deliver. So I'm excited to do it again if folks are interested.
Awesome. Well, so you got 17 days left, and you and I have kind of talked about this. We're hoping that we don't got to worry about anything and that it's going to hit funding. You're at 41% now, which isn't terrible.
No.
It's a hefty goal, which I know is a little difficult. And then obviously the timing probably killed you because, man, everybody has launched.
I tried to launch earlier last year, but thanks to Kids and Monsters, Maxie just did not have the time, and that is totally understandable. So we carved out space specifically now about 6 months ago. We carved out this space. I had no idea what it was going to be like when I launched, but it was the time we had to launch. So what happens.
And so if this doesn't hit funding, that isn't the end of book 4.
Oh,
that
God,
is
no.
The end of Jack Irons. It's
No,
a
no,
reassessment, reevaluation, and then pushing forward.
Not even much. We'll likely launch again with about a K less of a goal because I'll have paid for more pages. The book will likely be 100% finished if we have to launch again. Not in colors, but the line art will be 100% finished. I'll probably get the lettering done as well, actually. It should be another go. I don't know if we'll be back on Indiegogo or we'll try Kickstarter because a lot of our previous audience, which I've been surprised because of how hard I've pushed it in multiple channels, has not returned. I've done multiple polls, and a lot of it is, again, it's timing, right? Either they're backing other books and can't afford to back this right now, or it's just they can't afford to back books anymore. Like this is definitely an extra. It's a support thing. It's not a necessity. And a lot of people are being put in the position where necessities are what they can do. I totally get that. I have no it's just how timing can work, and I hope down the line we can change that. I hope it shows up and I reach a new audience that can help that. Obviously, we had a lot more expensive tiers this go, and people were willing to go for that, which is incredibly heartening. And there's things we can do in that level as well that could help with another go at this. But the sooner we get it funded, the sooner you guys get it, and the sooner you guys get more, right? So that's like the goal. But we're always thinking of other ways to present this and other ways to try this and trying to continue to deliver this great quality. We've never failed our backers and we never will. We just got to figure out what timing works for everybody who wants this book and to continue reaching new audiences. And so I'm always using different tools in the kit. And so if I'm asked to do so again because this does not reach goal, I absolutely will. And you will, as long as you're following me and paying attention to our work, you will be able to get it eventually. But the sooner it's funded, the sooner it gets to you.
So, suggestion from what I'm kind of looking at and what I've been seeing, if you do end up having to try again, maybe look for a June or July timeframe and see if right kind of at that summer time, if that doesn't hit people a little bit differently.
Exactly.
February is brutal.
Yes.
February is a brutal month. You have some people that are raring to back, but so many campaigns launched, and taxes for a lot of people were not what they were expecting this year.
Yeah.
So all of that adding together makes February, March, April a little trickier. And I've noticed for a lot of campaigns, if you fail and you immediately start up again, people kind of raise an eyebrow at that because it's like you couldn't have possibly evaluated everything that happened that didn't work out and figure out a better plan if you didn't even take the time. And so taking a month and a half to 2 months to kind of reevaluate, even if you already know what your game plan is, you've had it evaluated since it potentially became an issue, giving everyone that 2-ish month break from you pushing your book hard and then having you come back. And when you come back, make sure you launch on a channel that has a good viewership or whatever to try and get those eyes on it instantly.
Yes.
Because the sooner you can get the audience's attention, the sooner the audience can help you push it.
And yeah, that's been a struggle since the beginning. You folks know me. I'm in a lot of different crowds, and so some are not a fan of others, and so that puts me in the middle. And so like that's where I want to be, honestly. Like I love everybody. I love indie comics so very much from all kinds of different spectrums, but that does give it definitely is a different mountain to climb and is considerably steeper in a lot of senses. So finding those channels to get on, like I've done a lot of live streams this go, and I've been so grateful to. I've been meeting a lot of new awesome folks, but the live stream push has quite literally been the lowest factor of backers this go for me. I've been very stoked to do it. I've been raring to put that fire back in that I had with the first campaign, and that's kind of what this one's been for me, is kind of a back to basics, figure out what worked before, but also what you've learned and try and integrate that and push it the best you can. And so doing that again, yeah, I'm gonna need a breather. Either way, right, I'm gonna need a breather, either the production breather where I dive into the mechanics of making this thing happen, or a reevaluation breather, of course, but also just a regular, like, okay, I did it, breathe for a little bit and come back with new energy.
Exactly.
And so we'll see what happens. Again, like we got 40% funding last campaign, the last 2 days, at a 10K goal, which was just crazy. I don't know how this is going to go. I've got a couple more live streams hopefully to hit before this ends. I'm consistently live streaming on Ironverse Comics on YouTube. If folks want to just engage with that community, I'm happy to have you. Thank you. Just check it out. And again, I'm happy anybody who reads it through ironversecomics.com. Just check out issue number 1. If it's your thing, you'll like everything else we're doing. You can go to Patreon, give us $1 and download all of them, or you can go to wickedpublishing.com, give us $9, download all 3 issues. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of it. You can get 1 and 2 physically right now with a unique trade dress on our original covers through Wicked right now. If you just want to order 1 and 2 just straight, I think they are $5 a piece, so $10 you'll get 1 and 2 with unique, very low print run covers. I think there was only 50 of each of those. That's a great way to start. We've tried our best to have no barriers for folks who are interested to dive into our work in any way. This is just the way we continue it, but we've always got options, and we're not stopping anytime soon.
So just pointing out, you did pick up at least a couple of backers. So now you're
thank you folks so much. All right.
So
thank you.
We'll keep plugging along, and hopefully it ends up where we're wanting it to be, getting it funded, getting it to continue, because it is a really great book and a really good concept. It's super fun. It's very gritty, and it's really, it's kind of what you want from a Western, with a very unique spin. So if all you're looking for is, old school spaghetti Western, this ain't quite that. But if you're looking for a Western that's going to give you a different kind of feel and it's just a very interesting both style and look, as well as storyline. So I think it's great. I definitely think you guys should be getting in on it. And Cody, thank you so much for coming out. I'm glad that we got to talk to you again. Thank you, both of you, so very much. Cy, thank you for hanging in there with all of your internet.
You're welcome.
As this thunderstorm is trying to just pummel poor Cy's internet. Just take you straight out. And the biggest thank you goes to all of the amazing people who've been hanging out in the chat. We love you guys to death. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And definitely back this book if you haven't already. Go share it everywhere. Make sure your friends know about it. It's a great work, and I can't say any more good about it. It's really something that you should have in your life. Thank you, Cy. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. Yes. Maybe even become a member if you're interested. Ooh. And you get to see more craziness like this. You get to see that on camera from time to time. Yes. Hey, you're they, them. So now you're they, them, that.
and enjoy, because here comes the trailer.
Oh.
Nice.